大家好，我是 Martin, and this is Short Stories, brought to you by the Taichung Keda Language Center. Today's short story is called This Man Can Cut It. It's about a man who overcame a difficulty in his life. And now he is spending his time trying to help other people overcome their difficulties too. Now I'm going to read vocabulary and vocabulary example sentences. Vocabulary. Be faced with. Be faced with. Tony is faced with a difficult decision about his future. Be clad in. Be clad in. Clad. Tom came to answer the door clad only in a towel. Go through. Go through. Jim went through a series of interviews before being offered the job. Continue to verb. Continue to verb. If you continue to fool around and waste your life, you're going to end up with nothing. Addiction. Addiction. Mark's addiction to alcohol has ruined his career. Mankind. Mankind. Mankind may travel to the stars at the dawn of the next century. Obstacle. Obstacle. Be an obstacle to something. Lack of creativity was the biggest obstacle to Jack's getting promoted. Inner. Inner. Jane found inner peace by practicing yoga and meditation. Accept. Accept. Accept one's apology. Tammy wouldn't accept my apology for standing her up. Lawful. Lawful. It is not lawful to fish here unless you have a license. Helpless. Helpless. The helpless man was trapped in his burning car. Wisely. Wisely. Wise. By investing wisely, Brandon made a fortune in the stock market. Psychological. Psychological. If you neglect your child, he or she may grow up with psychological problems. Counselor. Counselor. The couple went to a counselor in order to save their marriage. Now, the story. An Australian man cut drugs out of his life and started cutting others' hair. Drug addiction is a problem in our modern times, but it has afflicted mankind since ancient times. It's tough for some people faced with personal or social issues to feel good about themselves. This is especially true for people who live on the streets, downtrodden by the obstacles in their lives. Though Nasir Sobani, a barber clad in tattoos, has gone through similar experiences, he now has the inner peace of a man who has cleaned up his act and accepted himself. At the lowest point in his life, Sobani could not even look at himself in a mirror. He hated what he saw and what he was. His cocaine addiction was costing hundreds of dollars a day, but he had no lawful way to make that much money. He finally went to rehab to clean up. After he beat his addiction, he took up work as a barber in the city of Melbourne. He works 6 days a week at a job he loves, and on Sundays, his 1 day off each week, he continues to cut hair, but not in his own barbershop. The former drug addict goes out into the streets and cuts the hair of the homeless, often drug addicts themselves, for free. Sobhani doesn't just cut their hair. He takes time to learn about his clients, as he calls them. He talks with them and tells them that they can change their lives, just as he did. He does all this because he wants to give back to a society by helping the homeless and helpless. When asked about his life, he wisely says, "The greatest prison is the prison of self." A very nice, short, and sweet story about a man who kicked his drug habit and is now trying to help others do the same thing. Now we will begin the listening comprehension questions. Question 1. What is the reading mainly about? A. How a barber opened his own shop. B. How a former drug addict helps others. C. The drug scene in Melbourne, Australia. D. How expensive cocaine is. Well, cocaine is in fact expensive, but that's not what this is about. This is about B. How a former drug addict helps others. Question 2. What is Sobhani's occupation today? A. He guards prisoners in a jail. B. He sells drugs to the homeless. C. He is a psychological counselor. D. He cuts hair for a living. Well, you're not going to make much money if you sell drugs to homeless people. They don't have money. The answer is obviously D. He cuts hair for a living. Question 3. What does the phrase "cleaned up his act" in the last sentence of the first paragraph mean? A. To improve his behavior and become a better person. B. To get haircuts on a regular basis. C. To bathe every day. D. To clean the place where he lives. The answer is A. To improve his behavior and become a better person. In English, we often say that when you kick your drug habit, that is, you quit using drugs, we call that getting cleaned up or getting clean. Question 4. How did Sobhani beat his addiction to cocaine? A. He opened his own barbershop. B. He became a tattoo artist. C. A barber helped him quit drugs. D. He entered a rehab program. He did open up his own shop, but that was after he beat his addiction to cocaine. The answer is D. He entered a rehab program, which helped him to get clean and stop using drugs. That's it for today. Thank you all for watching. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.